We stand tall, united we back. We answer the call. The Rural Report, our guiding light. Together we'll conquer with all our might. Prepping for tomorrow, securing our fate. Arm in arm, we won't hesitate. In this journey, we're hand in hand. One community across the land.
Hello again, and welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and happy Sunday to each of you. So, did you guys notice the thumbnail picture that I had? Because it's a little bit pertinent to this video here. Now, if you missed it, you just clicked on it or clicked on the notification. Let me show it to you. So, this right here, that picture is real. Okay. Here's the thing. It's real fake. That's one of the things that I wanted to get in here, is that this is motion picture money. So while I get to go around and say, no, that photo is absolutely real. It's not doctored in any way, shape, or form. I took the picture, didn't edit it at all, and posted it. So when somebody comes along and they go, that's fake. No, it's not. It's a real picture. That is definitely not a $100 bill, right? So what am I trying to get at? It's manipulating information. Okay. Information is key. It is one of the basis of everything. When you go to learn a new skill, you need information. You need to be taught that information. Now, you can pick up a book and read it, and maybe you can get the information from that. Maybe somebody needs to tell you the information. Maybe somebody needs to show it to you. Maybe you just need to pick something up and just figure it out on your own. Okay. Or a mixture of one, two, all of them. Who knows? Everybody learns different. Different things are taught and learned in different forms and fashion. But it still comes down to the information has to be true. Now, there's different kinds in with this. Now, stick with me here, because when it comes to something such as advice or maybe a method, that's information, but it doesn't have to be set in stone, right? As long as you are getting an end result, there may be a million ways to do it. And maybe you like this way, somebody says that's wrong, you have to do it this way. But at the end of the day, as long as the task that was set out to get accomplished is done, who cares, right? It's one of those ones that if I stuck a woven basket here and a woven basket here and they were done completely separated, would you be able to tell the difference? And so when it comes to things like that, when there's methods and you got opinions and styles and things like that, that's one form. When it comes to the other form, this is where somebody takes something and manipulates it so that way they can get across what they want out of it. And that's where things become dangerous. Okay. And this is where those terms of misinformation, disinformation, and things like that get tossed around. And really, when they start getting tossed around like that, they start losing their meaning, right? And so you have to be very, very careful when you're out here and listening to things, reading things, anything along those lines, because there is an objective behind sharing information. The same with me right now. You're watching me as I sit here and talk to you to get information. Okay. Now, that information, what I'm saying to you, might be entertainment. It may be valuable. It may mean nothing. It's up to whoever watches this. But I have an agenda. My agenda is a warning. That's all it is. I'm not out here trying to manipulate information. I'm saying you need to take in the information, even if you have a very, very good hunch that it is slightly incorrect, mostly incorrect, or a flat out lie. That's still information that you need, because it's telling. When somebody comes to you and tells you an absolute bold faced lie, it's not the information that I want that came out of their mouth. It's the information that that person knowingly lied to me. Now I have information. When somebody comes through and says something and I know it's half true, I'm still getting half of valuable information. My discernment is to try and figure out which half is correct and why it's only half true. Did the person alter it so that way I only get half the information? Did they hear it exactly like that and relay it? Did it get lost in translation? Did it do the telephone thing? It just passed through so many ears and mouths that it's varied so much. Everybody had to make it a little bit more dramatic because my story needs to be better than the next guy's. Uh, Personally, that's a child's game. While it is fun in a playful area, um, when it comes to information, I don't care if your version's more dramatic. I need it to be more true. So remember that as things go forward. It's not about who has the most dramatic story and who can tell the best story. It's whose is more true. Okay, that's who I'm going to go to. I'd rather go through boring truth than entertainment of half truths and flat out lie. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, if you watched this morning on Pinball, and I was going to do this last night because the news broke last night. Pinball did a video on it, and I think there was somebody else, but the founder and CEO of Telegram was arrested. Now, if you don't know about that, you didn't hear that story. He wasn't arrested in China. It wasn't North Korea. It wasn't Iran. It wasn't even Russia. And keep in mind, he's a dual Russian citizen. So it wasn't even Russia. No, it was France. So what happened is a U.S. ally, a NATO member, probably one of the closest governments or civilizations that resemble our own here in the United States, arrested somebody, and it is censorship. Okay, I don't care what they say, and I'm not even going to dance around it here. They're throwing all these other charges at him because he won't censor. So for me, it's the underlying thing. It's censorship. That goes into a very, very dangerous territory. And a lot of people don't understand censorship. If you give me a second here, you don't get both ways. You either get full on freedom of speech, or you start making exception after exception after exception. You go down a very dangerous path. When it comes to freedom of speech, you have to understand the only thing is in your mind, okay? That is absolute 100% freedom. You can say, think, do whatever you want right here in your mind. The second you make it audible, okay? Whether you're in the privacy of you just talking to a friend, whether it be on the phone, through text, whether you say it up on a stage at a meeting, whether you do it here on YouTube, whatever, there's consequences to every syllable that falls out. And you have to be able to deal with those consequences. And if things go, and this is not a thing to start making a panic mode or anything like that, but uh, it's going to eventually, it might be soon, it might be a little ways away, but I have a feeling that it's going to come down to a very big crackdown on censorship. Um, I recently shared a post by Honey Hill Farm, and it was somebody asking, something along the lines of, "Aren't you concerned about, you know, talking about controversial things?" And the person replied back and said, "No, my concern is staying quiet and watching those I care about suffer. And I mean, that's why, for me, I want to be able to bring information out. I want to be able to help as many people as I can. If it's one person, then it's good enough for me. If it's two, great. I'm doing, better. 5, 10, 20, however many it is. But when it comes to this is going to be the first, okay, and this is going to set the precedent. So this is going to be one that, if you have an extra 5, 10 minutes, here and there, you might want to follow along on this, okay, because what happens here, whether they jail him and they're saying up to 20 years, or whether he turns the keys to Telegram over, okay. Now, your thoughts on Telegram is your thoughts and your opinions, and mine, it's one of the few that um, has pretty free speech ish. It's not fully, but it's close. It's pretty decent. It could definitely be better, but it's one of those ones that it's going to depend on the outcome to see how all this shakes out. Now, that goes right along into the censorship here. Most of us content creators kind of got to dance around a couple of words. Otherwise, you'll get strikes, or you get taken down, or your video won't get posted, or the notifications won't go out, whatever. Okay. Um, and it's going to keep going. Okay. Whether it's through Facebook, Telegram, any of the other stuff, it's all just going to cascade down, and it's going to keep going into censorship, and it's going to be on you, and it's going to be on what you decide to do with that, because again, it all comes back to consequences. What price are you willing to pay in order to not only exercise your right of freedom of speech, but almost your duty as American to help fellow Americans out and spread your knowledge, your wisdom, controversial or not, okay? Because if you look at it, every single dictatorship, everybody that is hungry for power and wants pure authority, they all have an obsession with the power, and they do different things to quell down the populace, if you will. Whether that's bread and circuses, whether that's dumbing down the education system, there's a lot of different methods on that, but one of them is censorship. Okay, if I can control information, then I can control, the way that you will perceive it. You can take a story and you can alter it in a way to make the victim look like the hero and the hero look like the victim. You've probably already seen it and picked it apart and realized that's what it is. But it's going to keep getting better and better and better. And pretty soon it's going to be very difficult, I think, in order to see that. The way that you get it, they've already done all that testing and things like that. There's a lot of people that go with the flow. There's a lot of people that won't stand up for, uh, you they'll let their eyes and ears deceive them. We recently talked about it, that one of the three-letter agencies did a study where they held up a sign that had a square on it, and there was 20 people in the room. 19 of them were three-letter agency people, and one was not. And they put the sign down and they said one by one, what was it? And every single person said triangle. And they got to the last person and they kind of looked at everybody who was like, a triangle, and they know, they stared right at it. It's a square. But you don't want to be different. You're going to go right along with the herd. Okay. And my challenge for you as I wrap this up, try and go out and find another YouTube creator. Find a new group on Facebook. Reach out to others. Make that connection stronger. Okay. The prepping community is the greatest community on the planet. I firmly believe that. And I will continue to say that. Yes, you're going to have a few bad apples in every single group. Okay. I get that. Fully get it. But for 99% of it, the prepping community is the most generous, helping, kind hearted, greatest people on the planet. Find somebody, okay? Whether that is a fellow prepper that you're making a network and a connection, whether that's somebody that you're introducing it to them, whether that's somebody that's been doing it for a long time and they can help you. Okay, reach out, make a new connection. Okay, do it over the course of this week right here. Find a new channel to watch, find somebody else to follow, reach out, make a connection, send somebody a message that you're already a part of a group and just say hello, how are you, something, just get it going, so that way we can come closer as a group and we can build as a group. Okay. So with that, I hope you got some information out of this. I hope that maybe I brought you some entertainment, something, right? But I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you have a blessed day. Stay tuned because there's definitely more information to come. And with that, I'm going to remind you, remain united because we're all prepping in this together.